Hey, what's going on, guys? June here with Hapa英会話, and joining me today is Kelly. Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right. Today, I'm going to talk about 4 or 5 very similar words that we use in everyday conversation.
Okay.
Absolutely, definitely, certainly, totally, and for sure. So they all kind of mean something very similar. At least in my books, I feel like they are very, very similar. 今日はちょっとケリー先生に absolutely, definitely, certainly, totally と for sure の違いについて彼女なりの考えをシェアしてほしいのですが、before we get into the differences here, which do you think you use the most among these 5?
I would say casual English I use for sure pretty often. And I think that's definitely.
Definitely.
See, they just come out. I feel that that's definitely something recent.
Okay.
And it might be because we're a little more casual, because we're online, because it's not quite office setting. So for sure, I think I use the most.
Okay.
Because I'm mostly speaking casual English. And then totally, I think I use pretty often too. Absolutely, certainly. I know definitely I just used, but absolutely, certainly, definitely, I think I would use less.
Okay.
And totally and for sure.
And one more, the one word answer. There's a lot of situations where you just answer it by saying absolutely, definitely, certainly, totally, for sure. It's just like a one word answer that you give.
Yeah.
In this situation, is there one that you use more than the other, or do you think this is very situational too?
I think it's very situational, but totally.
No.
Actually, I don't think so, because unfortunately, totally by itself has a little bit of like a 90s vibe to it, because this was slang.
Yeah.
For, yeah, totally, man, rad. Back in like the surfer days of the 90s, right? So totally for me, I think I can't use, because I always think back like, oh, that's not my style of English. That's not my character. I think maybe definitely. I would use more often as a one word answer.
So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I think of the 5, definitely or for sure, but totally, like you said, it definitely has. It definitely has that like 90s surfer vibe. Yeah, totally, dude. And I totally get that, you know.
Oh, see another one.
Well, Kelly, help me out. I'm using these words in my everyday conversation right now as I'm trying to explain the difference, and I don't even know why these words come out. So is there a difference between absolutely, definitely, certainly, totally, and for sure?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, this is one of those things where when you think about it, you say, oh, yeah, that's totally different, right? And you know, I wouldn't really use that one here. It's one of those things where we're silently giving extra information. It's all positive answers, usually. So how is it positive? What am I talking about in a positive response, right? So with absolutely, I think that would be like wholeheartedly, wholly, the entire amount of that situation. There's no doubt at all. Are you coming to the party next week? Absolutely. Nothing's going to stop me. I don't care if I get in a car accident, it snows. I don't care if the world blows up. I am coming to that party. Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like not able to be denied. I will 100%, no questions, come to that party. When we talk about definitely, this for me feels more like my confidence in either my information or my confidence in my opinion. So it's another 100%, but it's 100% in that topic I'm talking about or that response that I'm giving, right? Certainly for me is the weird one, because this one you guys might have heard as kind of a set phrase almost. To me, it feels a little bit more like British English. It feels a little bit more formal. It feels more of like an older word. I actually almost hear this certainly not as like 100% no, there is absolutely no way. And see, there's an absolutely in there, right? Right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like
no way.
absolutely no way, right? I feel like in American English, we don't use certainly quite as much as like a one-word answer. I would hear certainly not, but it feels a little more academic somehow. It feels like I'd read it in a textbook, but I wouldn't really use it in conversation. It's still that 100% still a positive answer, but it's not really used as often in conversation. I mean, do you think you use certainly?
That's the one that I definitely don't use the most. Of the five, I can't even really recall the last time I responded with a certainly. Certainly not, like you mentioned. That's a great example that you bring up, because that is that's something that I might have said in the past. But again, it was probably like in some professional environment. Definitely not with my friends.
No, right?
But maybe somebody at work was asking for some kind of ridiculous request or something, and I just wanted to make it very clear that it was not going to happen. Certainly not. But yeah, it sounds very formal to me as well.
And then totally, I feel like this one is close to absolutely, and definitely that it's kind of a whole amount, but it feels more casual. And again, if you grew up in America in like the 90s or watched any of those 80s, like 80s Point Break, right?
Point Break with Keanu.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
Tom
that was
Cruise.
Keanu.
Was it Keanu? Tom Cruise. Am I getting...
Why do I think it was both of them? I know they weren't both in it.
Okay.
I think Point Break was Keanu, but it feels like an early Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was in... he was like a bartender in Miami or something. That was the Tom Cruise one. Anyway... Beach culture, surfers, like totally tubular, dude. That is what always comes to mind. And that really is generation specific, because like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They use totally all the time. So it almost feels like a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Using that as a one-word answer to me always makes me remember that and be like, I'm not a Ninja Turtle from the 90s. I don't eat pizza and have nunchucks, right? So it does feel a little weird, but as you guys have heard, we do use these within a sentence.
Yep.
Almost to mean 100%, very, a lot.
So absolutely は完全な right? Something where 何か I think the example that you gave was, I am absolutely going to the party this weekend. 何があっても必ず行きます。There's nothing that's going to stop you from getting to that party. So もう完全に何かをする。絶対にって、この絶対にをものすごく強調するのが完全に。And definitely, I really like the definition or the nuance that you gave to this, but 自信があるっていうね、you're very confident in what you're saying, your opinion, definitely. So you can obviously say, I'm definitely going to the party,
sure.
Right? And これは自分自身はね、自信がある。何か自信がある。But it can also mean that what Kelly explained right now is definitely correct in my mind, which right, shows that I have a lot of confidence in what she just mentioned. Or it could be absolutely correct if I feel like it was a flawless explanation where there's not one bit of information in there that she said that was incorrect. It's an absolutely correct statement. So ここのね、やっぱ definitely はこう自信っていうのがね、ものすごく強調される。And certainly, これは多分中で最もフォーマルな表現で、I think proper English is the word that really stuck to me, but I feel like it is the proper English, or at least that's a feel that I get. Certainly よりもやっぱよく聞くのが certainly not の否定形。で、これはもう絶対にダメですっていうのを伝えたいときに使う表現で、it's probably close to absolutely. I guess it's can be useful.
I think absolutely and certainly are close. Yeah.
Close, right? Yeah.
Close.
Certainly. Yeah. で、最後が totally ね。totally、カジュアルな響きだね。で、80年代のこう映画 Point Break。ね、皆さん見たかしら。
Tom Cruise. We're not sure which one.
So yeah, is it Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise? You guys can let us know.
I want to say Keanu. I want to say Keanu.
Right, Keanu, yeah. まあでもサーファーの映画でやっぱこのサーファーが使うちょっとこうスラングっぽいイメージがある。プラス昔皆さんね知ってるかもしれないですけど、ね、Ninja Turtles でもよく使われていた表現でね、Totally っていう表現がよくあったので、まあこの一言で使う場合は、まあ僕も同じだけど、I don't really use totally as just a one-word answer like I used to back in the day. And like maybe like you, I feel like I'm, past that generation. I think those totally days are just behind me, and I feel like I'm going to use something more quote unquote proper, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. じゃあ最後の let's end with the for sure. Where does for sure, where do you place this in these four expressions that you mentioned?
So I would say in order of like most formal or proper to casual, it would be certainly, definitely, absolutely, kind of together, totally, and then for sure. For sure is super, super casual. I know people that use it to mean, oh yeah, 100%. Like I totally, the whole amount, agree with you, or I'm totally, yes, totally that answer. But I also know people that use for sure inside of a sentence, which you're not really going to find in a textbook.
Yeah.
It's not really proper English. It's not TOEIC English, right?
Yep.
It's more of a live English. And this might be more of a California, New York thing, like an East Coast and West Coast city thing. Like, I'm for sure going to the party tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yep.
That's that 100%. But it also is not quite how you would use that on an actual written grammar test. But definitely people, I can't stop using it.
Yeah.
Definitely people are going to use for sure. And that's kind of that very, like, not just I'm going to the party. I'm making that statement stronger by adding for sure. I'm 100% going to the party. For sure, I'm going to the party. But I think for sure can actually be used for all four of these because it's so casual and because it's closer to 100%. It's almost like a more general one where absolutely, definitely, certainly, and totally all are 100% in like a different idea of, is it 100% confidence? Is it 100% of the possibility? Because for sure is so casual, it's almost able to be used for all of them in a casual situation, mostly only spoken English.
Right, exactly. For sure が多分一番口語的でいろんな状況で使える表現であるのが、I think that might be our conclusion too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys very much. And don't forget, Kelly offers amazing English lessons on Cafe Talk. All of her information is in the description below, or you can go to cafetalk.com and find her there. Kelly, thank you very much. I'll see you again.
See you soon. Thanks,
Bye, guys.
guys.